All right, my friends, we're ready to move on to windows. So I had already drawn this right here. We are going to add windows to this building. I'm going to work on this side because it's the larger side, so it might be a little bit easier to see. And I am going to zoom in so you really can see what I'm doing. Okay. So the first thing we need to do, we need to think about different types of windows. And I will show you two different types of windows on these sides. I'll use this one for individual windows, and I'll use this if I'm doing a glass building. Typically, if you have a glass building, you have a glass building wrapping all the way around. But for the demonstration purposes, I'm going to do separate windows here, and I'm going to do a glass building windows on this side. So when you typically look at a building, your windows are aligned with the top of the building. You don't see the top of your building and you don't see your windows at an angle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our windows match this top line. So notice we're always starting, we've got a vertical line here. So I am going to go over this same line. I'm going to bring down until I say, okay, I want my windows to start here. And then I want to think about how far down do I want my window to go. So maybe this window stops there. So I'll take my ruler again, and actually I'm not even going to do that yet because first I have to get in my guidelines. So I'm going to line up my ruler with my vanishing point and the edge of my window where I stopped, and I'm going to create a couple guidelines. Now I don't have to go all the way back to the vanishing point because I know my windows are only going to be so tall. So if I know they're only going to go a certain distance, I can just stop at that point. But I can't go in and I just can't freehand. You always have to line up your ruler with the end of the line and your vanishing point, and then come down. Now I had said I was going to stop my windows right here. So now I would line up the top of my windows. Obviously, the top of my windows and the bottom of my windows need to go in the same direction. They need to be parallel lines. I'm going to line up the top of my window. I'm going to gradually come down, and I'm going to draw a line at the bottom. I can then connect those two together, and I'm going to erase here. Now let's say we want 3 windows, and I'm going to make my window from here to here, from here to here, so that's 1 window. I'm going to leave a space, and then I'm going to go here to here. That's my 2nd window, and then from here over might be my 3rd. And I might need to space that out just a little bit more. Once I do that, again, I'm going to start from these dots, and I'm going to go line the dot and the vanishing point along my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line in between the window. So these are my window panes, is what I'm doing. This is going to be in between the windows. And I said I needed to make this maybe a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna just scoot that over just a little bit more. And then my last window right there. So now if you think about this as being a window, windows have reflection. So to help me make sure I'm erasing the right lines, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put a couple of lines in there. That's my window. In between those windows is building. So then I would go back in with my eraser and I would erase those lines in between. And now you have 3 windows added to your building. If you were to do a door, it's the same thing. So you would continue to do this all the way down until you got to your door. And so now you have a door. Your door is going to be pretty small. Your door is not going to be super tall because look at how far away your door is going to be. So I might come down here and I might come up just a tiny bit, and my door to my building, notice that I'm lining each line up. Notice I did the bottom of my I took the bottom of my building, my ruler's going the same direction. I brought it up, I made a little line for the top of my door. I took each side of that line, I brought it back to the vanishing point, and then there's the door for my building. Now, if you would like to do glass windows, you start up here and you figure out your spacing. So how far apart do you want your windows? So maybe my window is here, here, and maybe one more. So I'm gonna end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 panels of windows going down. So just like I did with these dots over here after I separated, I'm gonna put this against my ruler and line my vanishing point up against my ruler, and then I'm going to draw a line. Now we know this is going to be my windows, so I don't have to draw a guideline. I can draw a solid line. Because these are glass windows and because they are panels, we don't need to do guidelines. Once you have these windows going all the way down, just like we've done before, and I'm going to turn my paper this way so it makes it a little bit easier. I am going to start here and I'm going to do my vertical lines. Now, one thing you need to know is that as your windows get further away, they should be getting smaller. So you might notice that up here the windows look kind of large, and then down here they look smaller. And it looks like I might have been a little off with some of these windows. And it could be that my ruler shifted when I came down. But it's very close. So that is how you do individual windows. That is how you do a door. And that is how you do glass windows. And again, if you wanted to add something like this, you kind of want to just kind of throw a couple little highlights in there where you might be showing some light reflecting off of those windows. So you can see when you're adding detail to these buildings, now the buildings are really looking like you're looking at it from a bird's eye view. So the next video I think I'm going to do is adding a sign. So if you're looking for a sign, go find the video. Stay tuned.